This is Entrepreneurs Get Visible, the podcast for people who want more impact, influence, and income. I'm Anna Parker-Naples, and I'll be sharing with you proven methods from leading entrepreneurs that help you get visible as an authority in your field. Because anything's possible when you get visible. As I'm recording this, it is actually my 4th day in self-isolation as you may hear from my voice, I have a bit of a croak, I have a sore throat, and we are slap bang in the middle of the beginning of the outbreak in the UK of coronavirus COVID-19. And I want to talk today about the importance of getting your message out there and why right now, in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of the scare that we're currently experiencing, why it's more important than ever to get your message out there. But before I do that, before we get into today's content, I want to just remind you that I have available all sorts of resources to really help with your mindset, to really help with the fear levels and the anxiety that you might be experiencing. These are unprecedented times, and I have a whole vast library of audio tracks that are available to help you to stay calm, stay in control with how you're thinking. So you can find those at annaparkernaples.co.uk/shop. There are all sorts of meditation tracks to help you calm your body, relax, just, let all those stress hormones go. There are very in-depth body scans on there that are brilliant for helping calm any anxiety or pressure that you feel that you're under. There are all sorts of hypnosis tracks. I'm a master hypnotherapist, and so I've put together all of my skills to put the most incredible tracks together that really make a very deep, powerful difference to people and how they feel. And also at this particular time when we are unfortunately thinking about a future that is quite bleak, when we get wrapped up in everything that's going around us, we are bombarded in social media with all these threats that are coming towards us. What I have over there on my website are some powerful visualization tools. You need to get in that habit of thinking about positive outcomes for yourself, for your life. And as you're going to hear in today's episode, I think today, right now, there has never been a more important time to spread some positivity and show people that there is hope. So if you know that you need those tracks to give you a little extra something, then head over to annaparkernaples.co.uk/shop. Today, we are talking about why it's important to get your message out there. I've just had a weekend where I could barely get out of bed. I had to just rest and give in to whatever my body is dealing with, whether it's just a normal common cold and various virus symptoms, or whether it is something that is potentially the thing we're all dreading at the moment. I feel a lot better today. What was interesting is that I normally feel very switched on and very motivated, but I just had so much lethargy and I couldn't even think. And it got me thinking about why is it that I want to support people with getting their podcasts out there? And part of that is because of my audio background. It's a logical extension of the skills and the abilities and the amount of knowledge that I have in the audio space. But when I tapped into it, I thought, well, actually, it's more than that. And I'm noticing on social media, there's either the camps where people who are self-employed are actively promoting their business, almost ignoring the fact that we have this crisis happening, or using the crisis to become a way to drive sales. That can feel a little bit icky at times. Or there's the people who are wrapped up in the panic of what's going on, and the posts are flooded at the moment with fear and worry. And it got me thinking about, well, why? What is it for me? This visibility that I talk about, this podcasting that I help people with, what is that all about? And I realised that the deeper purpose of it for me is that there are many, many people who need help. It might be that they're feeling depressed. It might be that they're feeling stuck. They're feeling overwhelmed in their life. It might be that they don't know how to make the difference in their business or the changes in their business that right now need to happen. It might be that they need educating. They need to grab some knowledge and they have limited amount of time to do that. It might be right now in the current situation that they have time on their hands, which is unusual, and they need to fill that time. They need to occupy that time. We're looking right now, as I record this, we're looking at potentially being on a lockdown for 10 to 14 weeks. Who knows if that's actually going to happen? And maybe when you're listening to this episode, maybe you're not listening on the week it's gone out, you will know what's happened and how that has panned out in the UK, but certainly across the world. As I'm speaking now, there are many countries across Europe that are on complete lockdown. So people have more time on their hands. And when people have more time on their hands, there's a lot of time for reflection and working out what's important to them, working out how they want to live their life. And as I was saying, many entrepreneurs are actually driven by the fact that they want to help individuals. You have to excuse me as I get croaky, but I'm sure you'll understand why. Many people are fueled by this feeling that they want to help lift people, inspire people, educate people. And through podcasting, we're able to connect with people in a really powerful way. And I think at this time, in these uncertain times, that level of connection is really important to tap into. There has never been a time where people have potentially felt so isolated. And what I love about podcasting is that it does build a sense of community. It builds a sense of connection. It creates this sense that we're not alone, that there are others who have been in the trenches or are in the trenches with us in whatever it is we're tackling. Now, for me, that's about getting your business out there, becoming successful in your business, becoming known for what you do. But it might be, I know, for example, we have lots of life coaches and mental health coaches that listen. It might be that when you think about podcasting, you think maybe it's an extra pressure on your plate. But if you tap into the fact that you want to reach people and give them that connection and that feeling that there is hope and that there is a way through, then actually for me, it changes the messaging that you're putting out there. It changes the importance of it. We know right now with podcasting that more and more people are listening. People are going towards audio. And the reason is that we lead these frantic, busy lives. And through podcasts, we can fill in the gaps in many ways. We can do something for ourselves in those short moments where we're commuting or we're running or we're walking the dog or we're doing the washing up. We can have something for ourselves that is separate from our family responsibility. And we can feel that we're learning and being educated in that way. And when I stop to think about really why teaching people to podcast matters to me, it's because I have this sense, this feeling that there are many of us that are leaders who are doing our best to try and raise humanity. And that might be knowledge, that might be through feeling, that might be through showing people, and this is certainly part of the work that I do, showing people that how they think and their current reality is not the only reality they have to be in. And right now, I think that's more important than ever. And I thought long and hard about whether I was going to feel comfortable promoting my own business during this rocky period. And I think for me, because I've just had 2 days in bed, it's maybe very, very fresh for me. But I realised that if I'm not telling people about ways that they can reach those individuals who need their help, who need to hear their message, then my life isn't purposeful in the same way. And it's very easy, I think, in these times to make decisions about how you want to show up in the world. And for me, it's about helping people to be leaders, to be seen, to be heard so that their message gets out there. Now, my voice is really drying up, so I'm actually going to keep this as a super short episode. But what I want to say to you is knowing that potentially lots of people around the world are going into isolation or being unwell or losing loved ones. Potentially not just potentially, we're already seeing the knock-on effects. People who don't know how to keep their businesses afloat, people who don't have the knowledge on marketing, that perhaps their businesses weren't thriving in the first place, or perhaps they're for the first time having to work from home and they're thinking about, well, what else? We don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on for. If you know you have the skills and the abilities and the desire to help other people, and you're not reaching those people, and they're potentially stuck, they're potentially depressed, they're potentially panic-driven, they're potentially overwhelmed and desperately unhappy. If you are one of those aspiring leaders or early stage leaders, or a leader who wants to find other ways to get that message out there so that you can shine brighter and you can help people switch those lights on in whatever way they need, then I do really urge you to consider, are you getting that message out there? My voice is totally going. So all I'm going to say on this is look after yourself if you are in the middle of wherever you are in this strange pandemic time. If you're listening on replay, then it might be a little bit strange for you to kind of hear what it's like in the middle of this. Maybe you're listening in a couple of years' time and it's long behind us. I hope it is. I'd like you to consider how to widen your channels so you can reach those people. And if you've listened to any of my episodes, that I now run the podcast membership. And if you want to come and check that out, then it's at thepodcastmembership.com. I'd love to see you on the inside, because I really am passionate about helping people get their message out there. Don't stop shining your light. Don't stop blowing your horn. Just because we're in the middle of a pandemic, people need to hear you. So make sure you are seen and heard by the people that need you. That's it from me today. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurs Get Visible. To get your free checklist on how to raise your profile and to find out about our community, go to annaparkernaples.co.uk/get visible.